Hey guys, it's been a minute. It has been a while since I have gotten on camera and it feels kind of like I've never done it before. I don't think I got to film anything in the month of November. I will not bore you with all of the things that have been going on that have prevented me from filming, but one of which has been our baby girl is 18 months and she got 2 ear infections in the month of November. And my husband and I had a couple of COVID scares, but we've always tested negative and we're symptom free. So thank God for that. Yeah, needless to say, it's just been a super busy month. Thanksgiving, and it looks a lot different this year. I'm so glad to be filming a video for you guys. I'm so glad that the video that I'm filming today, coming off of sort of a hiatus, is a Q&A video, because I just feel like talking to you guys and I feel like just being chill right now. We finally have some cold weather here in Houston. For those of you who watch my channel, I know some of you are overseas, and where I'm located in the US, it's hot 90% of the time. And so anytime that the temperature drops below 70 degrees, everyone is wearing winter coats and boots, and we're so excited at the thought of having a winter season. We do not have white Christmases here. There's a song about it. What I call Texas snow is it rains and then it freezes. And so that's the closest thing that we really get to snow. It has snowed a handful of times. I think 3 or 4 years ago, it snowed 2 inches. That's a lot for us. And so anyway, it's nice to have the windows open. We don't get to do this very often here, so it's great. I'm gonna warn you right now, go ahead and grab a snack, a cup of coffee. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I don't know how interesting this video is gonna be, but I'm gonna talk nonetheless, because I promised you a Q&A, and a Q&A I will deliver. I'm just gonna get into the questions that I've been sent. So one of my best friends, Raquel, sent me she sent me a question, and legit, her question says, "Why are you so awesome?" And I want a legit answer to that in your video. I'm awesome because my community is awesome. So I'll just leave it at that. You're involved in that community, so my friends make me awesome. And so I guess that's why. I would never refer to myself as awesome, but I'm thankful to have people in my life that do. You're awesome too, and I love you a lot. So Michelle asked me, what was my first fragrance? The first one that I can remember for myself, I'm trying to think, because I have an older sister, and when she was in high school, I was like in 5th grade, maybe. We're 5 years apart, so I was probably like in 5th grade, transitioning into middle school, maybe. I would play with her makeup and wear her clothes, and probably played with her perfume too without her knowing about it. So she used to wear Clinique Happy for a long time. And so I think it wasn't my first fragrance. It's probably the first one that I tried, though, that I claimed as mine. But the first one that I actually bought for myself that was not a body spray, it was actually a perfume, was probably Lucky You. Does anybody else remember that? I posted it on Instagram. It's like in a pink bottle, and then the men's version was in a green bottle. It was really affordable. I think Walmart still carries it. I think that's the only place that I've ever seen it. Yeah, I think that was I'm pretty sure that was my first perfume. Countless bottles of Bath & Body Works and Victoria's Secret body sprays too, though. So yeah, but that was my first actual perfume. Michelle also asked me, what is the fragrance that made me fall in love with the scent? Gosh, that's really hard. The one that sticks out in my mind the most, honestly, is Unknown Pleasures from Kerosene. I still am baffled when I spray that on my skin. I'm so baffled by what it does to me. I don't know. I think it's just incredible. It's one of the best gourmands that I've ever tried, and it's a powerhouse of a fragrance. It's gonna last you like 8 hours. I'm actually gonna spray that on myself after I finish this video. And the full bottle is on my wish list to my husband. That's the only one that really comes to mind right now because I love it that much. It like sticks out to me so much. I love it. A recent one that I've tried that has made me fall in love is Herod from Parfums de Marly. Whoa. Whoa. I'm not into things that are hyped up. The hype is real. Insane. Yeah, those are the only 2 that stick out right now. Michelle also asked me, what started your fragrance journey? And it's, gosh, and I hate to say this because I feel like everybody says this, but truly, people who know me the best? No. There's actually a running joke between me, my husband, and some of our friends that I've just always had a nose like a bloodhound. My sister has a nose like a bloodhound. My mom has a nose like a bloodhound. Like, we just are predisposed genetically, I think, to detect scent. And I just think that we're always obsessed with our house smelling clean. I think my fragrance journey started when I was young. I mean, maybe as young as 10. I can remember my mom taking us to church, and she used to wear Far Away from Avon. And I wouldn't say that I wouldn't even really call, personally, it's not a scent that I care for, but I remember the bottle. I remember just that period in our lives, that very, very innocent period in our lives as children. So my whole life, you know, I have been attracted to perfume. I've been attracted to scented things. I love candles. I love body spray. I love anything that is scented. My parents used to take us to antique stores like every single weekend when I was growing up. I developed a fondness for things that were vintage, but also I'm attracted to glass bottles as it is. I just think there's something about glass to me that is so nice. And so whenever we would walk through antique stores, I would always find these really cool, rare perfume bottles. And of course I never bought any because I was probably 10. And so I would always go straight for perfume bottles. And I always wanted to see if there was still juice in it. And I always wanted to see if it still smelled. And sometimes they did. And it was always a very specific smell. It was almost like a very, very dated Chanel No. 5 sort of smell, like very subdued, like trace amounts of perfume. But that would be like the type of scents that were in these bottles. Not something that I would necessarily wear, but it's just, I don't know, I was just always attracted to perfume. I will go through any department store and smell every single bottle that there is. It makes me so happy. And so that's a very long-winded answer, but it's been my whole life. And I really don't know what started my fragrance journey. I know that my channel is relatively new, but for those who know me the best, this is probably a long time coming. I hope that it doesn't stop anytime soon, and I hope that it opens up a lot of creative pathways because I'm a very creative person. I just don't get to exercise that part of my brain and that part of my heart very much. And so this allows me to do that. I'm sorry, Michelle, that's a very long-winded answer. I don't even know if I answered it properly. It definitely started when I was a kid. It definitely started, you know, elementary school age. And I think it just started in antique stores, being attracted to perfume bottles. Maria asked me, what is my most embarrassing moment? So let me think of something that I do want the internet to know. Whenever my husband and I were dating, we knew each other for a really long time. We grew up together. But whenever we were seriously dating before we got engaged, he took me on a lunch date, and I had a mouthful of food, and I think he asked me how my food was, and I was eating nachos, and a big portion of food was like stuck in my throat, and when I went to speak, it kind of sounded like the Cookie Monster, and it was something like, "Oh, nachos is so good." Looked at me. I understand if you don't want to date anymore. It's fine. It's totally fine. That was definitely an embarrassing moment that worked out really well. Marry someone who has a good sense of humor. Maria also asked me, what would your dream vacation look like? That is so difficult because there's so many places that I want to go. So I'm going to give you two answers. So one within the States, one outside of the States. So within the States, I've always wanted to go to Utah. I want to go hiking. I want to go to Zion National Park. I think it looks absolutely insane and breathtaking, and I really, really, really want to visit Utah. Outside of the United States, I don't know why, but I'm so drawn to Australia, and I've always wanted to explore Australia / New Zealand. I think the culture is really interesting. So yeah, probably Australia. Okay, so now I am going to get into a section of questions that I can't remember specifically who asked them, but they were questions that were asked to me in person. Someone had asked, what did you do before YouTube? That's a great question. My husband and I were actually full-time volunteers for a local nonprofit, an amazing nonprofit, by the way, shameless plug. It's Coreluv International, and they focus on orphan care in Haiti and in India. And before that, we were involved with them on a part-time volunteer basis for about 5 or 6 years. And then we went full-time with them for about a year and a half. And we stepped down because my daughter was born and I needed to be full-time at home with her. But absolutely incredible organization, and I stand by absolutely everything that they stand for. And I will put a link to their website down below so you can kind of read up on that if you're interested. How old is your daughter, and do you plan on having more kids? So my daughter just hit the 18-month mark. She's a year and a half. And do you want more kids? Yes, absolutely. We want to have at least one more of our own, and we really actually want to adopt as well. As far as timing, when we'll be in a position to do that, you know, we're not sure yet, but we definitely want to have 2 of our own and adopt a 3rd. Okay, so I do remember who this question was from. This was from Richard. He wanted to know, what does your filming setup look like? It's so funny. When I went to tell him what it looks like, I'll take a picture for you guys and post it on Instagram, but I really want to wait until I get an actual filming setup, and then I can take a picture of a before and after, because I think you guys won't believe how humble my filming setup is. So yeah, stay tuned for that. What do you use to edit your videos? I just use iMovie, honestly. I record my videos on my phone and I airdrop it to my MacBook, and then I just download it into iMovie and just kind of chop it up there and put filters on it. This is a great question. What brands make some of your favorite perfume bottles? That is a great question, and I think that deserves its own separate video. But obviously kerosene bottles I love. If you've ever heard of Bath House, they're a UK brand. I really love their bottles so much. You know, typical Amouage, those are really gorgeous, but I feel like everybody says that. Fragrance du Bois, gorgeous. You know, Memo Paris, gorgeous. I'm trying to think of more indie brands because that's more what I'm drawn to. That's kind of my speed. But let me get back to you on that. That's going to be a separate video, but I really, really like that question. My friend Rachel asked me this. She said, can you film a video about breaking down all of the different fragrance notes? And it's interesting that I've been asked this more than once. And I think it's interesting that people in my circle consider me sort of an expert, and I would never call myself that because I'm very much a novice. I'm like the novice of the novice. But some of my friends are like, hey, how do you even know that that's what you're smelling? How do you know something's floral or green or spicy or whatever? How do you train yourself to sort of detect note breakdowns? And I think that's really interesting too, and I don't have a simple answer to that question. So again, that might be another video, but it really just comes with time. I think there is an element of it coming naturally, but I think the more you smell, and whenever you know, even if you don't have individual essential oils to smell in front of you, which really does help. I think when you get a chance to smell something that's very vanilla heavy, then you smell something that has vanilla in it, but it's not the predominant note. You sort of, because you've smelled vanilla in a really high dose, you can detect it when it's in a composition but not really highlighted, if that makes sense. So yeah, but I think that's a great idea to kind of touch on, you know, different notes and what fragrances are, you know, really heavy in jasmine or tuberose or, you know, vanilla or sandalwood or whatever. Granted, I haven't gotten my nose on nearly the amount of fragrances that so many people in the fragrance community have, but I am trucking along and it's fun. But yeah, I think that's something that might come in the future, is filming a video on, you know, how do you detect note breakdowns? So yeah, I think that's a great question. And then what made you want to start a YouTube channel? Honestly, just the year that it's been, well, no, let me back up. I've wanted to start a YouTube channel since probably 2013, but I've just been so nervous and I've been very hesitant just because, you know, being a subscriber of many different YouTube channels myself, I've just seen a lot of the negativity that people get, and so it just made me a little bit nervous. But at the end of the day, you know, this is something that I'm super, super passionate about, and it's something that I want to get better at, and it's something that I really want to explore further, and I want to connect with people who have a passion for this as well. Truly, I wanted to bring a little bit of positivity and a little bit of a somewhat healthy distraction from all of the things that were going on this year, because between the virus and between the social injustice things that were happening, my heart was completely broken, and I did not know where to pour my energy into, and I didn't know what to do with myself, because at the time I was also a stay-at-home mom. So I'm dealing with all of this information and stress and worry and heartbreak, and I just needed to pour myself into something positive. And I just thought to myself, who's going to argue with me about perfume? I'm sure somebody will someday, but this is just something that was already a passion of mine, and I needed a creative outlet, and this has been it for me. I'm so glad that I did. I so wish that I started sooner, but everyone that has interacted with me so far has been incredible to me, truly. Like, I'm very, very blessed. Can't wait to connect with more people. It happens to be something that I'm very passionate about, so it was a win-win. How old are you? I am 32. How long have you and your husband been married? So in November, we just hit the 9-year mark. So I'm really excited. Next year, we're gonna hit double digits. Really, really awesome. We've technically been together, I think, 11 years, and we've known each other since I was 14. So yeah, it's been a long time with one person, and our marriage has overcome a lot. For those of you who are married, you know, and those of you who have 20, 30 plus years on us, you know that it's a journey, you know that it's so rewarding, but it absolutely is what you put into it. And I could not be more thankful for the person I am married to. I could not be more thankful for my marriage, and I could not be more thankful that in some very, very, very dark times we pushed through, and now we're starting a family. We have a beautiful, amazing baby girl. I'm very, very grateful for what I have. Would you ever consider designing your own fragrance? Oh man, I feel like everybody is doing that, and so I'm tempted to say no. But honestly, I have a running list in my phone. I think I'm up to 7 fragrances now that I've sort of created, and I don't even know what I'm doing. So, I mean, I'm working with no brands. I'm sponsored by nobody. No companies know who I am. So let me just make that clear. Since I've started this, and since I've been exploring fragrances and sampling a lot, I've actually started to make a list of, okay, like fragrance number 1, and what is the note breakdown, and what season is it for, and what is my inspiration behind it. Sometimes it's like a food item, sometimes it's a drink, sometimes it's I've been sitting there watching TV or something, and a scent composition will just kind of pop into my head, and I'm like, oh, that'd be really great. I don't think I've ever smelled anything that I'm thinking of in my head, and so I jot it down on my phone. So I have a list of 7 fragrances that have not come to life. Maybe one day they will. That would be an absolute dream come true. I have no idea if that'll happen. If I do, that'll be fantastic. As of right now, that's not something that is in the near future. But I would not turn it down, and I would not discount it just because I feel like a lot of people are doing it. But again, I don't like to go with what everyone else is doing all the time. Opportunity presented itself, I would definitely entertain it. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is green. Army green. I know that it's probably one of the most random, and most people would call it very, very ugly colors to love, but I absolutely love it. It's my favorite color in the whole world. Army green. What is your sign? So I'm not one of the people that subscribes to astrology and all of that. I think that there's some interesting points behind it, but it's not something that I focus on. Not to hate on those who really are interested in it and find it to be true. No disrespect there. I'm just not one of those people. But for those of you who are curious, because I know it's a big deal, I'm a Libra. My birthday is September 29th. What is your favorite season? My favorite season has actually changed to springtime, because it's not so unbearably hot here in Texas yet, because our summers can get like triple digits sometimes. It's brutally hot in the summer. So I no longer am a fan of summer as an adult with a baby. But I really, really love the springtime. I know everyone says fall, but I don't really feel like we get a fall season here. And so I don't feel like there's a good in between. So for me personally, I think springtime is my favorite season here. All right, guys, so that is all of the questions that I have to answer for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you felt like you got to learn a little bit about me. I'm a pretty private person, so this is really good for me to get out of my shell a little bit and to answer some questions that I wouldn't really think that people would want to know, but apparently some people do. So I hope this was interesting. Leave a comment below. Please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so you get notifications whenever I upload new videos. Had some time to really brainstorm some more content for you guys, so I have some really great videos coming up soon. I'm not normally someone who's really huge on the Christmas season. I like Christmas, but I'm not like a Christmas fanatic. But if you're kind of like me right now, where you are so ready for 2020 to be in the rearview mirror, that you put your holiday decorations up early, the tree is up, there's lights outside on the balcony. I'm really trying to soak up as much joy out of the holiday season that I possibly can. I want to soak up quality time with people who are close to me, and I want to reflect on 2020, but I want to also very much look forward to 2021. All that to say, we're just white knuckling through the rest of 2020, but it is almost over, and I am believing for good things this next year. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I love you so much. Thank you so much for your love and support continually. It does not go unnoticed. Please follow me on Instagram if you don't already. My life is kind of calming down a little bit, and I will be back with more reviews, hopefully another haul or two. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.